So welcome to another episode of Danganronpa, guys. Last episode, we ended up here. We're in the trash chute of the school. We're gonna rot down here. This is a rocket. I probably shouldn't think too hard about that one. No shit. Is that my desk? Is this a desk? It must have been the one I fell down. Yeah, as I said. And is that an airplane? What the heck is all that doing in a school's dump? I'm thinking that a plane crashed. Anyway, so the guy almost died because for some reason Monokuma had said that we were the guilty party. We were not the guilty party. We couldn't have been the guilty party, but apparently we were the guilty party. So he tried to kill us, and that's how we ended up in this trash chute. It's locked. No matter how many times I tried, nothing changed. I pushed it, I pulled it, I kicked it, nothing. I should be so lucky. Well, there's nothing I can do about that, so... Next, I looked for food. It's all rotten. Every last bit. No luck, go figure. After that, I looked for water. How am I supposed to tell the difference between drinkable liquid and undrinkable liquid? Not good there either. I just can't win, can I? Not that that comes even close to a reason for me to give up, after all. I am still alive. As long as air still passes through these lungs, I will not give up. After loudly proclaiming as much to myself, people came to look for you. I slept. And I slept. And I slept. In an attempt to maintain my deteriorating strength for even just a little bit longer. I imagine I was asleep for at least a day, and still I continued to sleep. And then I waited. I waited for inspiration to fall from the heavens. But it was an inspiration that fell from the sky. Trash? Another person? Trash. Well, I couldn't help but jump to my feet at the sound of this shattered the silence. Looking around, I noticed a pile of garbage off to the side had taken an unusual shape. Did something fall down over there? Something from above? But what? Where's that all of our friends? Because there's 5 bags. Did our friends come? Oh, there's 6. Never mind. Did someone throw out a mattress or something? I cautiously reached out toward the unusual shaped pile of garbage. Or maybe they know I'm down here. Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm no mattress. Along with the voice, something else appeared from within the mountain of trash. It was her! Oh, Kitty Kitty found me! With noodles in her hair. Awesome! The smell is just awful. Kirigiri? You look better than I expected. Why are you here? Why else? I came to get you out of here. I appreciate that, but, your head? She looked away, expressionless, and brushed the ramen cup off her head, then turned back to face me. First, this is for you. Oh, yes! Frickin' biscuits and some water. Motherfuckers, we got some food. Go ahead and eat. We can talk when you're done. Thank you! I practically snatched the bread and water out of her hands, and a few seconds later, it was resting comfortably in my stomach. Ah, life is good. I feel like I'm back in the game now. I knew you wouldn't give up so easily. Well, of course not. After all, my one redeeming quality is my optimism. That's quite an extraordinary redeeming quality. So, how are you gonna get me out? How? Hey, Kirigiri, why did you come for me? To repay my debt. No, to atone for my sins. Atone? During the class trial, you held your tongue for me, knowing full well the contradiction of my claim. So, you noticed, huh? Despite that, I didn't come to your aid. I abandoned you. I wouldn't say you abandoned me. It's no exaggeration. Fearing for my own life, I forsook yours. You made to save me, and I turned my back on you. I have no intention of trying to justify my actions, but there was a reason I needed to stay alive no matter what. Well, we're gonna figure that shit out. The reason you needed to stay alive? I'll tell you everything. I needed to stay alive for the same reason I came here. Huh? I'm talking about my purpose for enrolling in Kibugamine Academy. So you had some important purpose in coming to Kibugamine? I did, it seems. You did, it seems? I had forgotten. I had forgotten my objective until very recently. She had forgotten it. Then everything is remembered. Right? I have no memory of it. You have no... You mean you have amnesia? Shockingly. She was telling the truth. She really has amnesia? Nagai, do you remember? Just after we arrived here, the first out-of-the-ordinary thing that happened to us? The first out-of-the-ordinary thing. Do I remember? When we lost consciousness? And then, next thing we know, we've been locked in here. Right after I woke up, I realized something didn't feel quite right inside me. Thinking back on it now, I had already lost my memories then. I had forgotten. The reason I came to this academy and my super-duper high school ability. But why? How could you just forget? Strange, isn't it? It's hard to believe so convenient a development could be mere coincidence. Then what if you lost your memories because... There's no question. The Puppet Master is behind it. He stole my memories. But why would he do something like that? I can only think of one explanation. Because the Puppet Master views my goal and my ability as hindrances. Hindrances for the Puppet Master. That's why he stole my memories. Well, what the fuck are you then? If you remember your objective, can you just fucking tell me? But, turning that around, it means that my memories hold some clue to unlocking the Academy's mysteries. Or perhaps even identifying the Puppet Master. And that's why I've spent all that time investigating by myself, so I can answer those questions. But what if that's what it was about? Then you could have gotten everyone's help instead of working alone. If we had everyone moving in the same direction, the Puppet Master would have noticed right away. Besides, it's still possible the Puppet Master's one of us. Togami is the only assumption I can make on that, to be honest. There's no need to look so grave, just a possibility. But so long as that possibility exists, it can't be ignored, can it? The Puppet Master could be one of us. We went through this how many fucking times? In other words, she couldn't trust anyone but herself. And that's why, all this time, she's been searching for information about her memories all by herself. But even so, there's only so much one can do alone. That's why I asked for your help. But why me? I thought you were the least likely to be the Puppet Master. To be blunt, it was just my instinct. I see. But hey, your instincts were right. There's no way an ordinary guy like me could... I know everything. My goal is not to leave this place, but to remain here. It's that dream again. But what the heck? What's the matter, Nagai? It's nothing, don't worry about it. It's nothing, right? Despite all that, I counted on you. I'm just not used to relying on others, so I probably didn't handle things very well. I probably caused the same frustration as a result. To be honest, I was almost perpetually frustrated, but I guess that's just part of what makes kitty 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 kitty. True enough! So can you get me the fuck out? So I understand why you were working alone. Did you figure anything out? Were you able to remember anything? There's a lot I still don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my objective and my ability. What is your ability? My ability? The people around me referred to me as the Super Duper High School Sleuth. Oh, so you're like a detective, basically. You're just really good at detecting things, right? The Super Duper High School Sleuth. And the reason I came to Kibugamon Academy was to meet a certain person here. Me, right? Yeah. It's gotta be me. I'm the special guy. Who's a certain person? That would be the Kibugamon Academy headmaster. Oh, the headmaster! But why would you need to meet the headmaster? Because he's my father. Oh. Your father was the headmaster of the school principal. I mean, I'm going by principal. So he was the headmaster. And you're the daughter? That's fucked up. Huh? My father, the headmaster, left when I was still a child. Her dad? Her dad is the headmaster? So that's why. That's why when Alter Ego mentioned the headmaster. I will find him. Huh? I will find the headmaster no matter what. No matter what. What's wrong, Kirigiri? That's why she got so pissed. My memory still hadn't returned then. I simply felt an unusual urge to find him. It makes perfect sense now. After all, my whole reason for coming here was to meet the headmaster. So that's what that was. However, I'll be straight with you, Nagai. I don't want you to misunderstand me. When I said he wasn't the puppet master, I wasn't trying to stand up for him. I simply expressed what I felt when I snuck into the headmaster's office. What did you see in his office? When I snuck in, the drawers and shelves looked like they had been torn apart. In other words, there was a high chance that someone unfamiliar with the room had been in there. The puppet master. That's what I suspected, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to use this key to go to the second floor of the dormitory. But why there? Because, while I was in the headmaster's office, I also found this. Is that a map? It's a map of the entire academy. I took it along with the key and Mukuro Ikasaba's student profile. According to this map, the second floor of the dormitory is where the faculty bedrooms are. I believe some of the staff members lived there, and among those rooms is the headmaster's bedroom. I thought there had to be some sort of hint as to the puppet master's identity in that room. And while I was searching, I remembered. That my reason for being here was to meet the owner of that room. And so you went to the dorm's second floor to search for the headmaster's bedroom. But because there weren't any security cameras or televisions on the second floor... Speaking of which, what's the second floor like? It's hard to put it into words. Just... When I first arrived there, I thought that what was happening in this academy was far more terrifying than we'd ever imagined. In what way? That's something you need to experience for yourself. I'm sure you'll have the opportunity soon. It feels like there's more than meets the eye to what she's saying. Almost eerily so. Alright, we gotta go through it again just to get back to that spot. Okay. I was completely oblivious about what was happening here. Okay. You mean Mukuro Ikasaba's murder? I'll get this out of the way now. I did not kill her. And I don't think you did either. Yeah, I know, but that's why it doesn't make sense. Aside from me and you, everyone has an alibi. So who killed her? If there's one thing for sure, it's that the Puppet Master has his hands all over this. From the very beginning, Mukuro Ikasaba's class trial has been what was held for the purpose of killing me. To kill you. Because I stole and used his precious key, the Puppet Master made use of the class trial as a way to smoke me out and kill me. Using the class trial. Because he was unable to lay his hands on me directly. You mean because of the school rules? Exactly. Nice. You may investigate Kubigoan Academy freely, no limitations have been placed on your actions. The Puppet Master, being very particular about the rules, was unable to act directly due to that rule. That's why he made use of the class trial. Because he's particular about the rules, he was unable to directly intervene. That almost sounds like the Puppet Master himself is bound by the rules. On that subject, I have one more thing I'd like to tell you concerning Mukuro Ikasaba's murder. What's that? Had things gone according to his plan, it wouldn't have been Mukuro Ikasaba who was murdered. But you, Nagai... Jesus. I would have been murdered? Isn't that ringing any bells for you? Wait, could you be talking about... what happened that night? I can hear Death's footsteps. Huh? I can hear Death's footsteps. To put it in another way, I have the ability to involve myself in murders and other incidents. That's another one of my abilities as a sleuth. And that's what happened that night. Feeling oddly unsettled, I peeked down the stairs from the second floor of the dormitory, and I saw a white shadow moving through the hall. Quickly following after it, I saw it enter your room. So she knows when murder is gonna happen. That's fucking awesome! Why didn't you know that before? We could have saved so many lives. And there, I saw her standing over your bed. Of course, I immediately stepped in and stopped her. But it didn't end there. I stopped her from killing you. She herself ended up being the one we found dead. And then, the one who tampered with the body and planted the locker key in my room was most likely the Puppet Master. He did all that so he could exterminate me in the class trial. Does that mean it was also the Puppet Master who killed Mukuro Ikasaba? I have no proof, but that's what I believe. Then that's bad news for us. He could just kill any one of us on a whim. Wait, that doesn't make sense. I mean, didn't the Puppet Master try to kill you using the class trial because he couldn't do it himself? Yes, it's contradictory. And not just killing Mukuro Ikasaba. The very fact that he tried to kill me using the class trial, and that in his desperation, he even tried to kill you when you were completely innocent, it's all a big contradiction. What does it all mean? It means he's been cornered. What? We're close. We're close to uncovering the Puppet Master's identity. The identity of the other Super Duper High School Despair. The other Super Duper High School Despair? There's no mistake that Mukuro Ikasaba was the Super Duper High School Despair. However, Super Duper High School Despair isn't just one person. No, just one person? The phrase Super High School Despair refers to those who caused the malfication. You mean, what happened last year? Yes, mankind's most despairingly maleficent and monstrous malfication. Oh, the big slaughter! That would make a lot of sense. The people who caused mankind's most despairingly maleficent and monstrous malfication are known as Super Duper High School Despair. They're supposedly despicable and depraved, and they apparently act purely for despair's sake. And they are, without a doubt, behind this. Shit, that would make so much... I didn't even think of that possibility. That is kind of amazing. Super Duper High School Despair are our true enemies? If you want donuts, prepare for despair. And... Woo! We still got 6, because... yeah, they're all dead. To be continued. Well, I'll tell you what. In the present Island of Dreams rocket. You can find it in the present site menu. Because I still want that. That is exactly what I wanted for Christmas. A rocket. Super Duper High School Despair. The group that caused mankind's most despairingly maleficent and monstrous malfication last year. The group that pitted us against each other in this academic coliseum and broadcast it to the world. A helplessly terrible group of people. In the identity of the Puppet Master, after all this time, we finally got our sights set on our true enemy. But first... okay, sorry for that jump cut, guys. I had a phone call. I had to go take it right quick. So yeah, sorry about that. Let's get out of this awful place, shall we? Yeah, I agree. Well, I didn't read whatever that said. Door! Rattle, rattle. It's locked, but there should be a way to open it. Your key. Hey, kitty kitty, did you bring the key with you? The Monokuma secret gadget thing you stole from the headmaster's office? Of course I have it. The key is vital to our trapping the Puppet Master. I wouldn't let it out of my sight. You said it can unlock any door in the academy, right? Yes, it can. Then it should work on the door over there, too. Use the key, then. Hey, kitty kitty, shouldn't that key be able to open this door, too? It's worth a shot. She slowly set the Monokuma branded key into the door's keyhole, turned it, and click! Yes, it opened! We should be able to get out of here now. Let's go. Let's. Opening the once sealed door, Kitty Kitty and I left the dump behind. Woo! Finally. I was finally out. But I didn't have time for a sigh of relief. After all, the true battle was still to come. Chapter 6. The Super Duper High School Unluckster, or How I Learned to Stop Despairing the Embrace of the End. So is it the 6 of us gonna survive and figure this out? Beyond the door was a space like a shaft, like a tunnel on its side, or maybe a large chimney. My eyes traced a path along the ladder on the wall. I felt like I was at the bottom of a bottomless pit. I took hold of the ladder first, begun my ascent, and Kitty Kitty followed after me. We climbed and we climbed and we climbed, unable to see our destination. After some time, we both lost sight of our point of origin. I had no idea we were down this far. No. Watch your step. I won't be able to catch you if you fall. Yeah, I'll be careful. Of course, now that I'm actually thinking about it, maybe I should try talking about something to take my mind off of it. Oh, hey, Kitty Kitty, there was something I wanted to ask you. You're the Super High School sleuth, right? How long have you been a detective? How long? I've always been one, ever since I was a child. Since the old days when detective work was considered far more vulnerable than it is today, the Kitty Kitty family has made its livelihood as detectives. Then your family's pretty famous, isn't it? Actually, quite the opposite. We're relatively unknown, even among others in the same line of work. But why? If you've got such a strong family tradition. We pride ourselves in it. Pride? Detectives represent neither light nor dark. It is precisely because we are neither good nor evil that we are able to find the one truth. We are obligated to maintain neutrality, so that for that reason we must separate ourselves from the world. Thus, we deliberately keep our existence hidden away. You keep hidden? It's an obsolete, old-fashioned, illogical way of thinking. But despite that, we still abide by it. After all, it is our pride. Pride. Ah, I think I get it. Probably not. Anonymous, okay. The reason I couldn't find anything about her in the new Students of Kibugaman Academy thread was because she kept that information hidden to uphold her family's pride. Genius! But I trampled on that pride. What? I sold myself out to the Kibugaman Academy faculty so I would be selected for admission, knowing full well that my actions were unworthy of a Kirigiri family detective. She went so far as to trample over her family's pride, so she could enroll in Kibugaman Academy, and she wanted to do that because you were really looking forward to meeting your dad, weren't you? I can't blame you. Looking forward to it? I have absolutely nothing to look forward to in a reunion with my father. Huh? But you haven't seen your dad in so long. Surely there's a bunch of stuff you want to talk about. I have nothing to talk to him about. But I do have something to tell him. You want to tell him something? There's something I absolutely want to tell that man. To meet with him directly, and tell him to his face. And that's that I'm cutting off all our ties. That he's no longer my father. No longer her father? The last time I saw that man, I was still a child, so I don't know a lot about him, other than he was apparently very intelligent. The Kirigiri family had high hopes for the future with him as the next family head, but he hated being a detective. So he withdrew himself from the Kirigiri family. When my mother died, he used that as an excuse to run away from home. He had a big fight with my grandfather, the head, and then he left, leaving me, still young, behind. I'm sure he had a good reason. I bet your dad really wanted to bring you with him. In that case, I should be thankful. Thankful he left me behind. Unlike that man, I actually take pride in my work as a detective. I take pride in the Kirigiri family. So I am grateful from the bottom of my heart that he didn't take me with him. Had he, by some chance, actually taken me with him, I would not have been able to become a detective. Climbing the ladder ahead of her, I was unable to see Kirigiri's face, so I had no way to tell what kind of expression, what kind of emotion her face bore. As she said those words, all I could tell was that, as compared to usual, she was speaking more freely, and perhaps more brazenly. I have no intention of blaming that man. His life is his to live, but I am sure it sounds like I'm being dismissive. But that's honestly how I feel. There's just one thing that I can't forgive him for. And what's that? The way people looked at me. I felt no sorrow at having being left behind. Rather, I thought I was better off for it. But people didn't see me like that. I was always thought of as the girl who was abandoned by her father, and that's how they looked at me. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm fed up with having my past, that man's shadow always hanging over me. I want to cut him out from my life, once and for all. That's why I have to tell him to his face that I'm cutting all ties, so I can clear the books on the past, so I can remove that man from my life. Of course, he's probably forgotten all about me by now. But your family, isn't severing relations a bit much? He and I simply share the same blood, nothing more. We may be connected by our blood, but our hearts are disconnected. Can you really call that family? They're connected by blood, but their hearts are disconnected? She had been so sure, so firm in saying that. I couldn't think of any way to respond. So I could do nothing but keep my mouth shut. Well, better off that way. To continue climbing in silence, after some time, we finally arrived. Arrived where? Where in the school have you arrived? Sorry, I'm looking down for a minute. Just gotta get something fun working here. It looks like this is the end. Kibugaman Academy is on the other side of that door. We've returned. Remember the door in the dormitory's trash room floor? That's where we should come out. I unlocked the door ahead of time, so there shouldn't be any problems opening it. I'll give it a shot. I pressed my right hand against the door above my head and I pushed. Better fucking open. With a little resistance, the door opened. Then, we're here! We've returned. That was an unbelievably long ladder. I'm exhausted. Somehow we made it back. Whether you should say we were unharmed was another issue altogether. But here we were, Kibugaman Academy. Thank you, Kitty Kitty. You saved my life. You don't need to thank me. I was just repaying a favor. Now we're gonna save here, and we're gonna end the episode here. So please, comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what you thought of this episode, and what you think of the game. Because, like, Jesus, things just keep happening. And I hope to see you on the next episode, guys. Take care until then. Bye-bye.